The final score was 31-13 in the Dallas Cowboys. Impressive preseason win. It was the last preseason game. I really like the way in which that the team as a whole competed. I really like the way, we're going to break everything down. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. So hopping straight into it, I'm going to be giving you guys my performances in tonight's game that I liked. First off, I like to say, prayerfully that Jaydon Blue is okay. He did suffer a right ankle injury. He did go to the Blue medical tent. He was able to come out and he was walking around Dallas Cowboys sideline, which for me, that is a good sign. Prayerfully it isn't sprained or anything serious of that note happens, prayerfully everything's fine. He should be ready in less than 2 weeks when we gotta go up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, another thing I'd like to say is prayerfully that all the players that are not probably going to make the team they put up enough impressionable film for the other 31 other teams. So that's why a lot of these guys can go out and can continue to live out their dreams and things like that. So, because again, prayerfully, if it works out for them here, for some players that are probably not going to make the roster, prayerfully they're able to make it on and they go to the next team and they're rotational, or they can even start for some of their future teams going down the line. So the number one performance that I did like, not really in order, but I'm just what came to mind while I was taking notes while I was watching the game. The number one player that I felt that had probably one of the best performances in the game was Joe Milton. I love the way that Joe Milton was able to play today. He was very calm. He wasn't erratic. He was in and out of the huddle. He was making plays. When the play wasn't there, he was throwing the ball out of bounds and throwing that MF for far out of bounds. I remember there was a play on the goal line. He rolled out to the right, and he threw the ball damn near at the what's that thing called, the concession stands. He threw that ball so damn far up, but that's something that I like to see. When the play wasn't there, he threw it out of bounds, and that's something that he needs to understand as a quarterback. There were some times when he took the intermediate pass, he took the smart pass. I like the way he was playing today. He was quick with his reads. There was still times where he's holding on to the ball, but that's just young quarterback things. He's going to figure that out. And tonight is what we thought we were going to see the past two preseason games. It sucked that it took the third preseason game for him to get it together, but of course, as people like to say, corny cliches, save the best for last and things of that nature. So, but if Joe Milton had been playing like this for the prior 2 weeks, we could have seen what Jonathan Mingo was. But because it sucks that Jonathan Mingo didn't get to partake in tonight's game, because if he didn't tear his PCL and Joe Milton was accurate this game, Joe Milton was accurate with better wide receiver talent, I would have loved to have seen what Joe Milton and Jonathan Mingo could have possibly looked like. But that was something I was very impressed by what he did today. He threw a touchdown. He rushed in for a touchdown. He did a lot of great plays today. I'm very proud of him. Number two, Ryan Flournoy. No, Ryan Flournoy he didn't catch a touchdown pass in today's game, but I love the way his downfield blocking was when they ran that trap counter play where they was pulling offensive linemen for Deuce Vaughn on our first touchdown drive, and Deuce Vaughn cut it outside. He had a lot more yards to gain because of Ryan Flournoy, I believe that other wide receiver might have been Jalen Marino Cropper, but still a lot of great blocking on that end. I was very proud of those guys. Ryan Flournoy was very active in special teams. I love the way that when his number was called, he was making the catches that he could. I was very proud of the way in which Ryan Flournoy was playing, and in my opinion, he should make the roster, and he deserves to make the roster. Number three, the performance that I did like from a particular player today was Deuce Vaughn. When I talk about a player when I was, I'm praying for the guys that can show their tape for the 31 other teams, that's going to be Deuce Vaughn. I like the way in which Fulmafa played down the later stretch of the game. You saw the explosiveness and how quick Jaydon Blue can get in and out of cuts, and he can press the gap, get out of it, And like that summer play that he ran when he first scored his touchdown, his first NFL touchdown with Jaydon Blue, he was able to get down to about the 2-3 yard line because he was able to press that gap on like a cutback lane, cut it back, gets about the 2-3 yard, puts his head down. I like the way Jaydon Blue was playing. I like the way Fulmoffer was playing. Miles Sanders didn't play today. Deuce Vaughn's had a solid performance today. I like what he was doing in pass protection. But I don't think that Deuce Vaughn makes the roster, in my opinion. But who knows? He might be able to make the practice squad, but we're going to see on that note. Number 4, James Houston. James Houston, and I'll talk about Perrin Winfrey as well. Just talk about that defensive line real quick. James Houston getting a sack today, blowing up jet sweeps, just being very active in today's matchup. I'm very proud in what James Houston has shown in today's matchup. There's nothing really much more that he really needs to do for me. For me, in my opinion, understanding that he did play the rest of the preseason, he deserves and earned his roster spot for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, you're probably going to say, well, who do you cut? That's for the Dallas Cowboys to figure out. I'm going to make my video on Monday discussing roster breakdowns, who makes the 53. But just a sneak peek, James Houston is going to make the 53-man roster, in my opinion. And that's a guy that I want on my game day roster 46. So I really like the way in which James Houston can play. Probably going to put him on special teams. I just like the way in which he's able to pass rush. And another wavelength of a pass rusher. You add that to what you already have with Micah, Ezraku, Nealand, Sam Williams. Now you can add James Houston, Dante Fowler, if I didn't say his name. You have so many pass rushers. I like the way in which that he was playing in today's game, and he deserves to make a roster. I just think that was with him being a kind of like an undersized defensive lineman, I think that's why he doesn't get the just due in which he should. But just James Houston is going to make the roster for me. So is Perrin Winfrey. I like the way and how disruptive he can be. I like how physical he is with his hands. He plays with a lot of tenacity. He plays with a lot of anger. I love the way in which Perrin Winfrey is playing. He's playing like a man with his hair on fire, but not only that, he's playing like a hungry man, a man that understands that when he was selected in the 3rd round at OU by the Cleveland Browns, this was a guy that he accomplished his dream at that point. And then once he went down to UFL, he's coming back in the NFL and said, I ain't going back. And I really like the way in which Perrin Winfrey plays because it's like that young player that's in the NBA that got drafted in the 1st round. He's been effing around. He went to the G League. He said, I ain't never doing that ever again. I'm staying on this level from now on. So that's how Perrin Winfrey is playing for me, and I really love the way in which he played. Mozzie Smith, from what I saw, was a solid player. When they didn't block him, he's a hell of a player, man. But no, for real, Mozzie Smith was solid today. But Mozzie Smith, in my opinion, doesn't deserve to really earn a roster spot. Because if you can go out right now and trade for any of the players that I said you can trade for last night, whether that's DJ Reader, if you trade for a vet guy and you want to bring him in here over Mozzie Smith, and you have to cut Mozzie Smith to make room for a proven, solid one tech, I don't mind the Dallas Cowboys doing that. But Mozzie Smith was solid in today's showing, but I want to know, how does this how does this front office feel about Mozzie Smith is my biggest question. But he was solid in today's game. Again, still coming late out at his stance, but I don't really know what to really gauge on Mozzie Smith. I don't know. It's like his 3rd, 4th different defensive coordinator since being in the league. Ever since he came in the league, had a different defensive coordinator, but we're going to see what Mozzie Smith is going to be. I think we keep him on the roster in short, if we're being for real. But if they get a real proven defensive tackle in here and they cut Mozzie Smith, I will not be shocked. Number 7, Ronaldo Fairweather. I like the way in which he has yak ability. He's able to make the big play down the seam. I like the way how active he is in the run game in terms of blocking. I like when he's there for Joe Milton on bootlegs and stuff like that. I just like the way in which Ronaldo Fairweather is that traditional tight end. He's always there when you need him. He's not going to wow you, but he's just that consistent chain mover in which you need. And we need a guy like Ronaldo Fairweather on the team. And for me, I feel like he secured a roster spot. if you got to cut Mozzie Smith, or not Mozzie, I'm tripping, but if you want to cut Luke Schoonmaker and put Luke Schoonmaker on IR or season-ending IR to make room for a guy like him, I will not be surprised, and I will love it. And also, another player that didn't suit up today, which was kind of bugged me out a little bit, was John Stevens Jr. I don't know if he's dealing with an injury, but the way in which John Stevens Jr. didn't play today was kind of odd to me. I feel like if he was healthy, he should have suited up, but I'm not sure on that situation. Jaydon Blue, I already talked about Jaydon Blue today. I really like the way in which Jaydon Blue played. Another player, my last player I'm going to talk about tonight, post game, is Elijah Clark. I like the way he was hitting. I like the way how physical and present he was. I like the way in which he was active and breaking passes up and being active in the run game. He's a really good player. He should definitely make the roster, in my opinion. But, again, you're going to be carrying 5 safeties if you do decide to bring him on the roster. But you did make him a high prioritized undrafted free agent, so I won't be surprised if they ask him if his ankle hurts, and they're going to tell him that his ankle hurts, and they're probably going to just redshirt him and try to keep him on the roster. But that's about it for the video. My honorable mention player that I want to talk about before we get up out of here is Malik Davis. I love the way in which he hit the boomstick on the punt team. That was a damn good play by him. And one thing for food for thought before we leave is the offense. I like the way it took us 3 weeks for the offense to get going like this, right? All I want to say and all I want to know is if it took the backups and the third stringers to run a vanilla offense finally to a decent or serviceable level, I wonder how long is it going to take for the starters that haven't seen any preseason or haven't played any real-life in-game bullets yet is going to look September 4th versus the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's about it for the video. Hopefully you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.